This is another 4-player fixed card game with blizzards. And the most impactful this time it seems to be the one in Europe, as it makes Europe to be only with 3 borders instead of 4. At first sight it looks like a small improvement, but I think it should help the European player to hold Europe much easier for sure. Then the North American blizzard doesn't really impact the game much, and probably the same with the Chinese blizzard in Asia as well, so just with the Australian player putting his army in India instead of Siam, so the Australian player could become quite less blocked, as these 2 Asian territories next to the territory of India might get continuously captured and recaptured by the European and African players. This time I was blessed of having even 2 different continent choices, with one of them being South America, and the other one Europe. And after thinking for a bit I decided to go for Europe, as besides it giving higher troop bonus, it seemed to be easier capturable and holdable as well with the amount of troops I had in these continents. And then asking myself if I only could get one continent, then which of them it would be, I answered myself with the choice of Europe. South America is just a small bonus and wouldn't give me much advantage over others at all, while Europe, if successfully held, should give me advantageous position for sure, with me having the most of influence towards the game, especially at the beginning of the game when everyone is still weak. Before capturing Europe I had to decide what to do with the yellow player's 5 troops in it, and with the black player having a bunch of troops next to it, it wouldn't have been a good idea to weaken myself by crushing these 5 troops of yellow at all, so I decided to rather let the yellow player move them out, and since his way towards Asia was blocked by black, I decided to make him the way towards North America, and fortunately that worked out. The yellow player moved his troops to North America starting to go for it, and then after me capturing it the yellow player sent me an alliance request probably indicating that he would be a good neighbor, and I obviously accepted it. I mean I don't know if I will be in a strong alliance with him or will betray him after a few turns, but right now the question isn't in that. Right now the biggest aim is to guarantee myself successfully holding Europe. And with saying that, the black player invades me into Europe, leaving his army in it. And so far I'm not sure whether it's a good move or not. I mean for the black player himself it probably isn't, it doesn't give him any advantage at all, and just ruins the diplomacy with me. Very luckily for him he only lost 1 troop, otherwise it would be bad for him the troop losing wise as well. And when it comes to the whole game and overall for everyone, I'm not really sure on that. I mean I probably wouldn't have been able to get much stronger in comparison with all others, as the white player already has Australia and the yellow player is about to capture North America, and the white player could have been able to just simply invade me by himself if wanting or if needed. So all in all personally I don't think the black player achieves much by invading me into Europe, neither for himself nor for the whole game situation and overall. Judging by the black player's stats he seems to be a high-ranked player, so I assume he must understand what he is doing. And because of that I decided not to move out from Europe like I would have done if there were a low-ranked player instead, so if the black player wants to prevent both of us from having continents, then it's up to him. And actually since I have a 10 troops set at 3 cards, I can make him be eliminated, so I would get rid of his threat for once and all. So let's do it. Boom. Even though I had to lose a lot of troops, I knew that I wouldn't be worth to be taken out by white, as by doing so, he would give away the game for yellow. The yellow player is getting black's cards so he will be as strong as white. So now everything will still be in the way it is to be, so just with me holding Europe assuming nobody betrays me, and with Aggressor being eliminated from the game. And even if someone invades me now, I wouldn't that much actually care anymore, as with that I will become neutral, putting my troops into one big army somewhere in a neutral place, while the white and yellow players would have to fight each other, or at least the white player had to attack yellow, with yellow having much more valuable continent. It's a 3-player situation now, so I wouldn't have to worry about any other additional players meanwhile, while the yellow and white would be fighting each other. The white player told me to attack yellow, but so far I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I mean right now I'm the weakest player while the white player is the strongest one, and while he has Australia and could be guaranteed to successfully hold it, I have 3 borders weakly guarded Europe, with the yellow player being able to easily retaliate to me. And then meanwhile the white player's biggest army would be towards me as well, so he could betray me very easily too, so that would probably very likely lead me of getting the 3rd place if I make a lot of attacks highly weakening myself. The white player would just probably wipe both of us out, so what I just did is captured 2 yellow's territories in Africa. My goal is to stay being as much neutral as possible, otherwise by being in the middle by both of the players, I would just very highly lose no matter which player I decide to attack. The white player added his troops into Asia, and then moved his troops out from Africa to Asia too, so let's say him to attack my territory if he needs to, indicating that it's fine with me of him capturing Asia, which would intensify his conflict with yellow, but alright, he ended his turn so quickly. I think I will just capture Africa now. The white player wants me to attack yellow, so let's just capture yellow's territory in Asia. Obviously I couldn't make any serious attack towards yellow while the white player is stronger than me, and while the yellow player himself is weaker than white too, and especially while the white player's biggest army is directed towards me, so he would be ready to wipe us out, after me invading yellow and yellow retaliating towards me. But that isn't going to happen. It seems the white player wasn't satisfied with me, so he decided to break the alliance with me, and I mean that's fair. We probably couldn't have been in a mutually beneficial alliance in which nobody of us would take the advantage over each other. So it might be even better for us to not be allied. I don't care that much actually, we could just be neutral. I think I like the yellow player as an ally more anyway, especially when he just crushed his Gotten troops in one of the white player's armies, so the yellow player seems to be an aggressive player, and this is what I'm looking from my allies, especially if they could be even too aggressive towards my opponents, which might give me the game. For now I decided to add my Gotten troops in the middle between both of my continents, and capture the territory of Middle East, making it blocked, so the white player wouldn't be bothered by me like the yellow player probably isn't either. Well, maybe the white player could be a bit more irritated as if he attacked territory of Middle East, then he would unleash my army, but I mean I don't want to add my army into a very blocked place, as maybe soon enough there might be an endgame between me and yellow if yellow continues weakening white as much as he does now. So by seeing that in this turn I decided to rather put my troops in the territory of Ukraine, so at least some of my troops would be unleashed when we finally get to the 2-player stage, as otherwise the yellow player could potentially outplay me if in endgame I end up having all of my troops blocked. Obviously I'm not going to strengthen my borders towards the yellow player when he is so intensively focused on the white player, as in that case he could stop paying that much attention to white while starting to be worried about me also. But alright, it seems the white player decided to suicide on me. So I think I don't have anything better to do but just to ironically say to him well played, as I think obviously he knows what he did, having 50% win rate with hundreds of games played. So with the game being obviously given away for yellow I just decided to wipe him out from Australia just for fun, while not having anything good to do. The white player seems to be wanting to hurt my feelings by sending all of that stuff, but I say let's be better than him and send some funny animated emojis so all 3 of us would have a good laugh. Let's stay spreading out positivity even when the time is tough for us. I appreciate the yellow player taking white out before me, it's a very good thing that he doesn't reward suiciders. What I think would improve the game experience is that it would be ability to play with a camouflage mode. What I mean is that all players would be anonymous, all players would enter the game with random names, colors, avatars, dice and everything, or I mean that could be made that you could still see yourself as you are, but your opponents would see you differently, with randomized attributes, and then obviously players wouldn't be able to see any stats or ranks, though if for example you would only want to play with high ranks, then you could still filter your lobby by for example selecting expert as a minimum rank when hosting a game. And after the game ends, all of the information about your opponents would be revealed who they are. I think this idea would really help to deal with the purposeful certain players targeting, especially when it comes to high-rank players. and then I think it would be good to make that all losing places would be equally worth for you, so the purposeful suiciding in order to get a better place for the ranking purposes, would be stop 2.